whenever the word epithelium comes into position. Okay, epithelium, it is basically the covering. Okay, epithelium is the covering. So you can write in epithelial tissue that the covering, okay, the covering, or you can say the protective tissue. See, whatever covers something, the main aim is to protect it, isn't it? So the covering or the protective tissue in the animals. Okay, these are the covering tissues, or you can also call them as the protective tissues. Okay, they are known as the epithelial tissue. Yes, they are known as the epithelial tissue. Now, can you tell me what part of your body contains an epithelial tissue? Like, it is the largest.
The epidermis of our skin.
Tell me in human forms. Like, let's forget plants now. Tell me, what is that one large organ?
Skin.
Correct. Skin. And skin is sort of covering your whole body, isn't it? And it is protecting your internal organs also and all of the structures in your body. Okay, so it is sort of like a protective tissue, or you can say a protective covering is there. So that is our epithelial tissue. Is it clear? So apart from covering the, see, epithelium covers most of the organs. So you noted down that epithelium covers most of the organs. See, there are two things. Okay, there are two things here that you have to understand. One is covering something and one is lining something. So when I say a thing is being covered, it means the outermost layer, right? And if I say something is being lined by something,
lining, so inside,
innermost side. Okay, for example, if this is the organ, so if this is the inside portion of the organ and this is the outside portion, so the covering would be on the outside, whereas the lining would be present inside. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So yes, ma'am. Epithelium, it covers the organs. It means the outer layer of the organs is formed by the epithelium, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And it also lines the cavities of the body. Okay, first it covers, then it also lines the body cavity. Okay, so if there is any body cavity, it will be lined by the epithelium. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. But what's body cavity?
Body cavity is any structure that is present inside the body. Okay, for example, the stomach. Okay, the stomach is there. So the innermost part of the stomach, for example, like if this is a badly drawn stomach, but anyway, if this is a stomach, okay, this outer portion will be the covering of the stomach, whereas this inner portion, that is a cavity, isn't it?
Yeah.
When food is not present inside it, it is hollow, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So it is present as the lining of the body cavity also, and it is present as the cover of the organs also. Understood?
Okay, ma'am.
And the basic function, apart from the protective and covering, it sort of forms a barrier. For example, if our skin is present, okay, so it is forming a barrier for whatever is inside our hand, isn't it? Either the blood, either the bones or the muscles. So a sort of a barrier is being created, isn't it? Barrier is like a covering. You're getting me? Like, what is a barrier?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, can be done in between two.
Yeah. So like the larger particles don't enter the body like dust.
Yeah. And apart from that also, there is no mixing of the things. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Different structures, like for example, if the stomach had no epithelium of its own, okay, then a lot of other organs are present around it. For example, liver. So if liver also did not have any epithelium of its own and stomach also did not have any epithelium, so they get smushed, isn't it? Because a separating layer won't be present. So when a separating layer is present, so obviously the liver can't get inside the stomach and vice versa. You getting? What I mean by the, you can say the separating boundary.
Yeah.
You getting that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you write the epithelial tissue. Everybody noted down the
Yes, ma'am.
epithelial tissue. Okay, tissues are present. Okay, epithelial tissues are present. Then put a this or a dash, whatever you want. Now, first you write the lining of the mouth. Okay, this like inside portion of the mouth, the lining that is also containing the epithelial tissue. So first you write down lining of the mouth. That is the first example. If somebody asks you, where are the epithelial tissues present? So you'd say lining of the mouth. Okay. Then second, you write down the skin. Okay. Third, you write down the lining of the blood vessels. Okay. Lining of the blood vessels. Then you write down lungs alveoli. Okay. Lungs alveoli. And then the last one is the kidney tubules. Okay. Do you know PCT, DCT?
What's that, ma'am?
Those are structures that are present inside the kidney, but it is, far away from your syllabus. I was just checking whether, somebody knows about it. Anyway, so the kidney tubules, the lining of the mouth, now the lining of different blood vessels, the lungs, alveoli, all of these would contain the epithelial tissues. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, epithelial tissues, they are tightly packed. Okay, they are tightly packed. Okay, so all of the cells that are present inside the epithelial tissues, they are closely situated to each other. There is no intercellular spaces. Okay, because they have to form a covering, and a covering can't be loose, isn't it? It can't be flimsy. So because of that only, the cells of the epithelial tissue, they are tightly packed. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, they have a small amount of cementing material. Okay, now see, you can say that if there is a little bit of intercellular spaces present. Okay, intercellular space meaning the spaces present in between the cells. Okay, if there are those spaces present, so it would contain a cementing like material. Okay, for example, see, if this is the epithelial tissue, and these are the cells. Okay, so first of all, they are very closely placed. They are tightly packed. Okay. Now, for example, if there is, maybe like intercellular spaces found, so they would contain cementing material here. Okay, cementing material would be present all around. Have you seen bricks that are joined together with cement? You might have seen it in the videos, that satisfying videos, people, put cement and then they press it down to make a nice wall. So that's material. Here it is exactly like that. Like how the bricks are oriented for a wall. Same way, the cells of the epithelial tissue, they are cemented together. And meaning cemented together is that they're so like closely packed that there are no intercellular spaces. So first of all, you will write that they are tightly packed. And then you will write there are no intercellular. There are no intercellular space. Prashita, I don't know why, but your like video is like completely blank. It is black. Your screen is black.
Oh, but I can see myself.
Oh, you can see yourself. I don't know why, but here you're seeing like completely black. Maybe some glitch might be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now see, since epithelium is sort of like a covering, so it means that anything that has to pass, has to come inside the body or has to go from the body to the outside, it has to pass through the epithelium, isn't it?
Yes,
For example, if like you have applied lotion on your hands for moisturization, so if that lotion, it has to first get like absorbed in your skin, isn't it? So that it makes the skin soft and whatever the thing it does. So it means that anything that has to pass, it must cross through one of the layer of epithelium. Like one is the least. isn't it? So that is like, this is what the epithelium functions are. It, it first of all creates a boundary, and anything that has to come inside the cell or anything that has to go outside the cell, it has to pass through the epithelium. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we can say that the epithelium has some sort of permeability. If it is allowing something to get inside and get outside, it means that it is permeable, isn't it? It is giving permission, right? So yes, you can say that because for the exchange of materials to and from the body, you write it down, because of, you write down because of the exchange of materials, because of the exchange of materials to and from the body, to and from the body, the epithelia, okay, from the body, the epithelia is permeable. Or you can say the epithelial cell are permeable. Okay, meaning it provides the permission for the other molecules to get inside and get outside the cell. Is it clear up till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now see, there are like many varieties of epithelial tissue. Okay, there are like wide variety which is placed at different structures of the body. Okay, inside the body, there are different like cells and organelles and organs are there. Now, the epithelial tissue, it is of so many various types depending on the type of organ that it is present in. Okay, so it means that if it depends on the different type of organs, then it means that because of that, each epithelia, meaning each different type of epithelia, would perform different functions according to the need of the body, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So for example, like for the lungs alveoli, do you know that in our lungs, alveoli are there, which are sac-like structures, and they are responsible for the exchange of gases like O2 and CO2. Do you know this? Do you know this word alveoli?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody knows?
Ma'am, can you explain it once more? I
Ma'am, the
forgot.
finger-like structure in the stomach to absorb the
No, that is villi. That is something else.
okay.
What you're saying, that is villi. Okay, what you're saying is right, but it is like has nothing to do here. See, what I'm talking about is alveoli. See, what happens in our lungs? Okay, if somebody sees a microscopic vision of the lungs, you would find that, like, okay, I'll draw it and I'll.
Yes, ma'am, I remembered it. Like it's some kind of a structure at the end, like in the inside of the lungs.
Yes, it is. See, for example, this is one lung and this is another.
Yeah.
Lung. Okay. Now, this is your windpipe. Okay. And
Yeah.
it gets divided into both the lungs. And now each of these would have balloon-like structure.
Yeah,
Okay,
small
throughout.
structures.
Okay, throughout balloon-like airbags type of structure are there inside each of the lungs. Understood? And these are the alveoli. Each of these, they are known as alveoli. Okay, they are present inside the lungs and they are responsible for the exchange of gases with the blood. Okay, so for example, if you inhale oxygen, it goes from your windpipe and it gets divided into both of the lungs, and finally it reaches the alveoli, and from the alveoli it gets diffused into the blood. Okay, so as we are seeing in the case of alveoli, diffusion is taking place, isn't it? Gas, which is O2, is coming out of the alveoli and moving into the blood. So it means that the epithelium that would be present here, it has to be simple, it has to be flat, so that easy diffusion can take place. If the epithelium present here is thick, then the diffusion will take time, isn't it? Yes. So that is the reason. That is the reason why. The reason why I'm saying that epithelial tissue would be different at different locations is because of the need, okay, wherever it is required. So for example, if we are talking about the case of lung alveoli, okay, this alveoli. Now here diffusion has to happen, meaning the gases, the atmospheric gases has to mix with the blood, isn't it? It has to pass through the alveoli and get mixed with the blood. So if the epithelium over there is thick, then obviously it will take time, isn't it? Right? This is the reason why the epithelium that is present in the lung alveoli, it is simple. First of all, it is very simple and it is thin and it is very flat. You've understood now?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, let us talk about the different types of epithelial tissue. Okay, write down types of epithelial tissues. Now see, depending on its function and depending on the area it is present at, it is of 4 types. Okay, now the first one is squamous epithelium. Okay, first one is squamous epithelium. All right, then there is stratified epithelium. Okay, stratified epithelium. And then there is cuboidal epithelium. Okay, and finally we have the columnar epithelium. Okay, so these are the 4 different types of epithelium that they are found at different locations and they have different orientations. Understood? Okay. Now, let us talk about the simple squamous epithelium, this first one. Okay, here, now you write down features of squamous epithelium. Give the heading, features of squamous epithelium. Done? And under that heading, you write down the cells of the squamous epithelium. The cells of the squamous epithelium are extremely thin. Okay, the squamous epithelium cells, they are extremely thin. Okay, they are flat. You put a comma and then you, after extremely thin, you put a comma and then you write they are flat and form a delicate lining. Okay, so the cells of the squamous epithelium, they are extremely thin, comma, flat, and they form a delicate lining. It means that are they present on top of the organs or inside the organs? Tell me.
Present inside the organ.
Correct. Because it is, I have written that it is lining it, right? Very good. Now, you write the skin is made up of squamous epithelium. The skin is made up of squamous epithelium. So like one of the very famous example of squamous epithelium would be skin. If somebody asks you where is the squamous epithelium present, so skin. Okay. Now, in the skin, the squamous epithelium, they are arranged in many layers. Okay. So you write down the squamous epithelium of the skin. The squamous epithelial cells You write down the squamous epithelial cells inside the skin, or you can say present in the skin. Okay, present in the skin are arranged in many layers. They are arranged in many layers. Understood? Now, can anybody tell me why are they arranged in many layers? What may be the reason behind this?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, any guess like why they are arranged in several layers together?
To like segregate other things separately.
No. See, they are basically arranged in many layers so as to prevent the wearing and tearing it off. Like see, when something is layered by layer, it is put there, it makes a very strong structure, isn't it? So that
Yes.
if one layer maybe gets ripped off, the other layer is there. And the other layer could perform the same function. Understood? So that is why it is arranged in many layers so as to give it a very tough protective role. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Alvina, you are attending the class after many days. Why were you absent for so many classes?
Ma'am, because I was having my half-yearly exams that time.
Hey, how did they go?
It was good, ma'am.
Good. And how was your science exam?
It was good. Very good.
Okay. Good. And how many chapters came in like biology part?
In bio, we have 2 chapters.
2 chapters. So cell and tissue.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the cell like? Like were you able to solve all the questions?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And what about tissue?
Yeah, that was true.
Okay, very good. Now, see, the second thing that I wrote is stratified epithelium. See, do you know the meaning of stratification? Like normal English term, stratification. Do you know the meaning of it?
No.
No, see, I'll tell you. Stratification is basically putting things into certain categories. Like, have you ever read that soil has topsoil, subsoil, bedrock, all that components of the soil? So
Yeah,
it
ma'am.
is in layers, isn't it? So it is forming different strata, or you can say different categories. So when many layers are together, they get stratified. So from the squamous epithelium, we'll get the stratified epithelium. Okay. So when the squamous epithelium gets arranged in many layers, so when many layers are there, a stratification epithelium is formed. Okay. A stratified epithelium. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now the function, the prime function of the squamous and the stratified epithelium is basically protection. Okay. Now, whenever the thing which is known as absorption and secretion, you understand absorption and secretion? Yes. So whenever our cells would require absorption and they would require secretion, so the tissue that will be present in those areas would be columnar tissue or columnar epithelium. Okay. Columnar epithelium, they are named because the cells of the columnar epithelium, they are like long, tall, column-like cells. Okay. That is why their name is columnar epithelium. Understood? So wherever in the body absorption and secretion will take place, at that area, columnar epithelium will be present. Can you like think of an area where absorption and secretion both are taking place?
Ma'am, in the intestines?
Correct. Exactly. In the intestines, wherein digestion took place and then all the nutrients are being absorbed, isn't it? And hormones are being secreted, isn't it? So this whole area would contain columnar epithelium. So columnar epithelium, it actually means a pillar-like epithelium. Okay, a pillar-like. So long and tall cells are present in the columnar epithelium. So you write down, give the heading columnar epithelium, and under that you write down the columnar epithelium contains column-like tall cells. Column-like, comma, pillar-like tall cells. Okay. Then you write, they perform the function of absorption and secretion. Okay, they perform the function of absorption and secretion. Now, see, another thing, do you know cilia and flagella? Everybody knows cilia and flagella?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the difference in between cilia and flagella?
Ma'am, I know flagella, but I can't remember cilia.
Okay, tell me what is a flagella?
Ma'am, it's kind of an antenna like thread-like structure on the heads of the unicellular organism.
What is the function of flagella?
Maybe transportation, like
You're very close. It's the flagella is there for movement. Okay,
yeah.
the flagella is present for movement of the cells. So see, flagella is different, but when we are talking about cilia, so cilia are like, finger-like projections, okay, that come out of the cell like this, finger-like projections. And what cilia do, now you've seen a brush, the bristles are there on the brush, right? Now, if you're using a brush to remove the dust from the table, for example, so what you're doing, you're sweeping it out, isn't it? So you're moving the dust from one place to another with the help of cilia, isn't it? But when you're doing that, the cilia does not walk away, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So basically, the columnar cells, sometimes they get modified and they have cilia on their cells. Okay? They get cilia, and these cilia, they are extremely responsible for basically, brushing in the body. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So you write down columnar epithelium is present. Columnar epithelium is present.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Rima, is that you?
Yes, ma'am. It's me.
Why are you so late today?
Ma'am, actually, we went to hospital.
Okay, you went to the doctor. What happened? Are you okay?
Not me, my sister.
Okay. What happened?
Like she's having gas.
Okay. So you people went to the hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all right. So see, I am teaching epithelial tissues. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Now, talking about these, I was saying that the columnar epithelium is present in the inner lining of intestine. We write down inner lining of intestine. Okay. It is present in respiratory tract. Okay, respiratory tract. Okay, it is present in the respiratory tract. And apart from that, the columnar epithelium which are present in the respiratory tract, they are ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, they are ciliated. It means that cilia is present, and because of that, they move the mucus, they push the chemicals to and fro. Understood? Yes, just give me 1 second. I'm connecting my laptop to the charger. Yes. Yeah. So I was saying that the respiratory tract, it has ciliated columnar epithelium, and because of that, it can, move the mucus, it can move particles to and fro. So now you understand, if anywhere cilia is present, now you understand the function of cilia. Okay. And now you know that the inner lining of the intestine and the respiratory tract, they both have columnar epithelium. Is it clear up till now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now, see, if somebody asks you the type of epithelium which has column-like cells, what would you say?
It will be columnar epithelium.
Correct. Now, if somebody asks you the type of like the epithelium which contains column-like cells and cilia present on them, then what will you say?
It will be ciliated columnar epithelium.
Correct. So the only difference is that the normal columnar epithelium will not have cilia, whereas the ciliated columnar epithelium will have cilia present. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very
Ma'am,
good.
I'm feeling kind of weak to write. Can you just send this everything in WhatsApp that I can write it later?
See, dear, I'm not writing anything. I'm making you write. Okay. I am dictating it. I'm not writing. I'm just writing a few points. Okay. I'm dictating only. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. I can provide you people with the notes. Okay. After like this
Okay.
class, I may provide you with that. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, let us talk about the last type of tissue, that is the cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so can you tell me what will the shape of cuboidal epithelium be like?
It will be in cubes.
Yeah, like the name suggests, it will be a cube-like appearance of the cell, isn't it? So because of that, the name has been given cuboidal epithelium, because the cells of that tissue or that epithelium, they are cube-like. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason, or you can say the function of cuboidal epithelium. Okay, you write down the function of cuboidal epithelium. The function of cuboidal epithelium is to provide mechanical support. Okay, it is to provide mechanical support. And they also secrete some substances. Okay, they also, like, two functions are there. First of all, they would provide mechanical support, and second, they would do the process of secretion. Okay, so mechanical support, which is sort of like, structural and mechanical support, and the second one is like secretion. Is it clear? Now, you can write down that the cuboidal epithelium cells are present at the lining of the kidney tubules. Okay, lining of kidney tubules. Okay, so at the lining of the kidney tubules, the cuboidal epithelium is there. And then after like this, you can say the ducts of salivary gland. The ducts of salivary gland, they also contain the cuboidal epithelium. Okay, cuboidal epithelium. Do you know what are salivary glands?
My mom has told me, but I forgot it. My mom have told me, but I have forgot it.
Okay. Anybody else remembers what are salivary glands?
Ma'am, they are the glands, I think, present in the mouth.
And what
That
do they
secrete
produce?
saliva.
Yes, they secrete saliva. So that is why the name is salivary glands. And saliva is extremely important in the process of digestion. Okay. So the ducts, meaning the pipeline of those glands, they would contain cuboidal. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now see, for example, if I'm drawing a cuboidal epithelium, So if we are looking from the topmost area, okay, so cube-like cells would be there, isn't it? This would be your cuboidal epithelium. But sometimes the cells of the cuboidal epithelium, they get modified. Like how in the like columnar epithelium, they got modified. They had cilia, so they became ciliated columnar epithelium. Same way here also some modification is there. So for example, if this is one cube of the cuboidal epithelium, now what happens after a while? There comes a time when there is an invagination of the membrane. Okay, meaning the membrane deepens down like this. You can say it folds down. Okay, the membrane sort of folds down, and this, you can say, a hollow structure is produced from the membrane only. For example, the membrane is going like this, and it folds down here, and then it continues like this. Understood? So at one point, the tissue is folding and creating like a sac-like structure. Okay, so this, like, you can say this modification will be known as a glandular epithelium. Okay, it is forming a gland. This, this structure that is, formed by the fold, that is glandular epithelium. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when the cuboidal cells, they are, modified, they become multicellular gland. And because of that, it is known as glandular epithelium. Okay, so you can say a multicellular gland is formed, and this would be calling it as the glandular epithelium. Is it clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So with this, your whole epithelial tissue is over. Understood? Is there any doubt, any problem in this topic?
No, ma'am.
What about Prashita and Alvina?
No, ma'am. No doubt.
No doubts.
Oh, very good. Now let us talk about the second type of tissue, which is the connective tissue. Okay, connective. First one was like epithelial tissue. Now we have connective tissue. Now, can somebody tell me what would be the function of connective tissue? The tissues are named as connective tissue. So what would be their function? Tell me. The tissues are named as connective tissue. So what is their function?
Ma'am, they connect the bones.
Yeah, not anything, not, you don't have to give an example saying bones or muscles, but in general, the connective tissues would connect. They would connect two structures together, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now here, there are, you can say, first of all, let's talk about blood. Okay. Now see, blood is known as the fluid connective tissue. Why? Because first of all, blood flows through all over our body, isn't it? It is everywhere in our body. So blood is present everywhere. So it is sort of connecting different structures, and it is in a liquid form. So liquid can also be known as fluid. So the blood is the fluid connective tissue. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, do you know what are the components of the blood? There are three major components of it.
Ma'am, it has the RBCs, WBCs, and plasma.
Very good. So the blood contains RBCs, it contains WBCs, and it would also contain the plasma. So it would also contain the plasma. Do you know the full form of RBC?
Yes, red blood cells, white blood cells.
Very good. So the red blood cells are there, white blood cells are there, and plasma is there. So this is the component of the blood. Now, if we are talking about the plasma, okay, see, plasma is a fluid like matrix. You can say that every cell is present in the plasma. So if you look at the blood, inside the blood you would find plasma, and in the plasma you will find RBC and W. plasma is just acting like a cytoplasm, isn't it? Like how cytoplasm has different organelles present inside. Same
Yes,
way,
ma'am.
if you look at the plasma of the blood, you'll find WBCs are there, you'll find RBCs are there. Understood? So you can first of all write about the plasma, that plasma is the fluid matrix of the blood. Okay, it is the fluid matrix of the blood. It contains RBCs, it contains WBCs. Now, apart from that, the plasma, it contains three components. Okay, the three components of the plasma are proteins. You can write down. Right? The components of the plasma. Okay, the components of the plasma are, the first one is salt. First you can write protein. So the component of plasma is protein. Okay, then comes the salt, and then the third component is the hormones. Okay, so the plasma contains all these structures. Understood?
Ma'am, I just want to know what's the exact meaning of hormones that my mom every time used to say, because of these hormones you're getting that and this and that. I'm not able to understand what's the exact meaning of hormones.
See, hormones are basically like they are chemicals inside the body. Okay, they are sort of like signaling chemicals. So whenever hormones are released, they sort of regulate our body function. Okay, like you know that in when it is night time, we feel sleepy, we want to go
Yeah.
to bed and we fall asleep. That is
Yeah.
also because of a hormone. Our height grows, that is also because of a hormone. So our whole body functions are regulated with the help of hormones. So that is why your mother says, for example, some people have oily skin. Okay,
Yeah.
they have pimples, some people get pimples. So because
Yes.
of the excessive production of some hormone, the skin becomes oily, some people get pimples. Okay, so that is what is meant by hormones. So hormones are chemical substances that are present inside the body, and like for growth. For example, like whenever we are a like small child and when we grow, our height increases.
Yeah.
Now you might have noticed that some people are shorter in height, whereas some people are extremely tall.
Yeah.
So why? Because the growth hormone in case of tall people is secreted more, whereas the growth hormone in case of shorter height people is secreted less. So because of the hormone, that height is very long. Some people are very long and some people are short. Understood?
Yeah, I understood.
Oh.
Like, what's the meaning for, like, how the hormones changes? Like, people say that because of hormone changes, we'll get PCOD and etc. things.
See that the PCOD and everything, they are like extremely different things. They happen because of certain things that take place in the reproductive system of the female. But the hormones, they change according to the body's need. Okay, wherever the body requires it, sometimes it is treated in more amount and sometimes in less. Okay,
Okay.
now let us move forward. So we know that in all parts of the body, the blood flows, right? Wherever you see, like
Yeah.
even if you get a cut here, blood will come out. Even if you get a cut here, blood will come out. It means that blood is present all over the body. Now you write down functions of blood. Okay, functions of blood. Or sometimes you can be asked it in a question form like, what are the functions of the fluid connective tissue? Now see, there is only one fluid connective tissue, that is blood. So you should know that the fluid connective tissue, they are referring to the blood. Okay, so in this you can also write the functions of the blood. Understood? Yes.
Yeah.
So you can form like both of these are topics: functions of the blood or functions of the fluid connective tissue. The thing is same. Okay, so first of all, the function of the blood is transport of gases Okay, transport of gases. See, when I was teaching you about alveoli, I told you that alveoli diffuses oxygen from to the into the blood,
Yeah.
isn't it? And now
Yes.
the blood transport that oxygen to all parts of the body. So because of that, the function of the blood is transportation of gases, okay, and transportation of gases, comma, digested food, okay. The digested food is also transported by the blood. Then it also transports hormone and waste materials to different parts of the body, to different parts of the body. Is it clear to everybody?
Yeah.
All the functions of the blood are clear to you?
Yes.
Everyone? Okay. So with this, we have completed one part of the connective tissue, that is blood. Now in the next class, we'll move on to the other part of the connective tissue, which is the bone. And then we'll see how the bone is like helping us to do different functions. And then we'll find about, ligaments and tendons and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
let's
would I like to ask you a question?
tell me.
The blood is present inside the skin, right?
It is present everywhere in the body.
Yeah. If there's a skeleton, just a
Mhm.
skeleton, we are not able to see any thing from like any stomach or anything. Then how it can be moved and alive? Like I heard about it.
What? I'm not getting your question. Blood is present inside the body, so it is circulated in the body. Because of the heart pumps the blood, and the blood
Yeah.
is circulated to all different parts of the body. Okay, that is
Yeah,
how
I'm
it
just
transports everything.
no, I understood. But if there's the only skeleton, not any skin, there's no skin in that skeleton.
There is no human like that. Every human being has bones, muscles, skin, blood. Everyone has that. If somebody does not have it, then that person is dead.
Okay.
The skeleton that we see in science lab, it does not have any skin, it does not have any eyes, it just has the bone. So obviously, where would the blood be? But in a live, living person, blood is there. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. So that is it for today's class. Okay. And then we'll meet in the next class. Do you people have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Is it like the whole topic up till now is clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one doubt.
Hmm.
Ma'am, what helps the skeleton to move, ma'am? The skeleton cannot move on its own. Something has to help it move, right?
Muscles
is
are
it?
there. Muscles are attached to the skeleton, like not skeleton, the bones.
Okay.
Everywhere in our body, there are bones present. There are
Yeah.
joints there. Like here in the elbow, you can like move your elbow up and down because there is a joint present here. And because of the presence of that joint, you can move. And apart from the bones, you have muscles like your flesh. Flesh is there. So flesh is also responsible for the movement. So along with that, it is coordinated together. And then again, your brain will signal you to move. So it is all connected into one. Okay. It starts with the brain and everything is connected to each other. It is so fascinating how, we are made, how our body is so unique and
Yeah.
everything. It's so fascinating. Now, as you move to higher classes, you will see the functions that, take place inside the body. Okay. But up till now, you should know that the bones are connected to each other with the help of joints. And the bones also have muscles attached to them. And because of that, we can move. Understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more doubts? Anything else you people want to ask me?
No, ma'am. I don't have any question.
No one has any question? Very good. You people are very curious, but I love that.